Hello everyone, welcome to JS Core. These are environment and ecology classes wherein we'll be discussing about trend analysis of environment and ecology. That means what are the types of questions that UPSC has asked in the previous years, and also we'll discuss about the topics on which UPSC has asked questions, right? So this is environment and ecology. Trend analysis. Right? So, in the previous classes related to environment and ecology, we have discussed about previous year questions, and also we have discussed certain important themes, right? And in order to discuss during those classes, to discuss theme, we have firstly analyzed the syllabus, right? So based upon the analysis of syllabus, we have understood that there are total 6 topics that we are supposed to study for environment and ecology, and they are environmental ecology, second, biodiversity and conservation, right? Third topic is climate change. Fourth is environmental pollution and land degradation. Fifth topic is environment impact assessment, that is EIA. And last is, though not mentioned explicitly in the syllabus, but very important, and that is environment or environmental governance, laws, rules related to conservation of environment, right? So these are the 6 topics that are important for environment and ecology. Now, if we try to analyze the trend of questions from all these 6 topics, then we will find that mostly or often questions are having current orientation. Let's take an example of 2021's mains examination. So in 2021's mains examination, there were 3 questions from environment and ecology. First question was on Green Grid Initiative, right? And this Green Grid Initiative was asked in the context of COP26 held at Glasgow. So that was the first question. Second question was again on the commitments given under COP26 Glasgow, and what are in India specific commitments. So that was the question. And third question was on air quality guidelines, AQGs, air quality guidelines by World Health Organization, right? So these were the questions asked in 2021's mains examination, and all these questions were picked from the topics which were in news in 2021. Green Grid Initiative held at or Green Grid Initiative started at COP26 Glasgow, which was held in November 2021, right? So that was the context. Again, commitments of COP26, again November 2021, and air quality guidelines by World Health Organization. They came near about August 2021, right? So all these questions have current orientation, right? So current oriented questions, and that is very important aspect for studying environment and ecology. The questions that we are getting in the mains examination from environment and ecology section are having current orientation, and that's why henceforth that will also be true even now. That means for 2022's examination or subsequent examinations, mains examination, again we will have to focus on the current developments related to environment and ecology, right? So that is one very important aspect that we should focus upon, current oriented questions. Now if we take into account other questions that are being asked by UPSC, then for example, there was a question on question from 2020's mains examination, and the question on question from 2020's mains examination was on what are the salient features of Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So question was on Jal Shakti Abhiyan. We are supposed to discuss the features of Jal Shakti Abhiyan, and also what are the measures that we can take to improve water storage and irrigation system to make judicious use of water, right? So Jal Shakti Abhiyan, and we can say water conservation steps, right? So water conservation steps can be general in nature, or we can say instead of saying general, they are a part of the static portion of the syllabus. They are the part of static portion of the environment and ecology. But Jal Shakti Abhiyan is the current development. So here what they have done, they have linked a current topic with the static topic, right? So current affairs again remains important. Then next question that was asked from 2020's examination is related to the NCAP, National Clean Air Program. National Clean Air Program, right? And this National Clean Air Program was launched by the government in 2019, and that's why the question was asked in 2020's examination. And the question was very straightforward. Key features of National Clean Air Program were asked in 2020's mains examination. And one more aspect, this National Clean Air Program was also referred to in this question asked in 2021's mains examination. So in this question of 2021's mains, air quality guidelines given by WHO were asked, and at the same time the question asked what amendments do we need to make in National Clean Air Program of India to implement these amended guidelines by WHO in India, right? So the question linked this particular topic of air quality guidelines given by WHO with the most important or most recent program related to pollution control in India, and that is National Clean Air Program, right? Again, a current topic. Next question that was asked from the current affairs was related to draft EIA notification 2020. Draft EIA notification 2020, right? Again, a current based question. So for last two mains, purely questions are current based, right? In this question, they have linked a current topic with the static portion of the subject. And that's why current affairs remains important for our studies, right? Now, in the previous questions or in the previous mains, let us discuss 2019's mains examination. 2019's mains examination. And then based upon this discussion, we can highlight what may be the important topics for upcoming mains examination. So in 2019, there was a question on coastal sand mining. So question was, coastal sand mining, whether legal or illegal, poses one of the biggest threats to our environment. Analyze the impact of sand mining along the Indian coast, citing specific examples. So in 2019's mains examination, first question was related to coastal sand mining. Coastal sand mining, right? And coastal sand mining, you can put this particular topic in the static portion of the syllabus. But the inspiration for the question is current, because during that particular time in 2018, 2019, there were lots of instances of coastal sand mining which were in news, and that's why, though this topic is static in nature, static topic, though this topic is static in nature, the inspiration was from current affairs, right? So that is coastal sand mining, and the question was asked on it in 2019's mains examination. Then there was a question on carrying capacity of an ecosystem. What do we understand by carrying capacity of an ecosystem? Carrying capacity of ecosystem. Question was asked on this, and this is purely a static topic. This is purely a static topic, and you can put this particular topic in environmental ecology, wherein we discuss about ecosystem and also the carrying capacity of an ecosystem, right? So carrying capacity of the ecosystem can be discussed under the context of ecological footprint or ecological footprint of various actions of human beings, right? So this topic purely was based upon the static portion of the syllabus, right? So 2019's mains examination, we can say that questions were static in nature, right? Then in 2018, there was a question on Ramsar Convention. So 2018's mains. Mains examination. Ramsar Convention. Right? So question was related to wise use of wetlands under Ramsar Convention, and what we are supposed to cite two examples of Indian Ramsar sites as well, right? So that was the question. Again, a pure static question. Pure static question. And inspiration may be in the current affairs, right? Inspiration may be in the current developments related to the Ramsar Convention or Ramsar sites in India. Next question was, Sikkim is the first organic state in India. So Sikkim as an organic state. So this is current topic, right? But the question was, what are the ecological and economical benefits of the organic state, right? That means the current topic they have linked with the static portion of the syllabus, right? And that is the question from 2018's mains examination. Moreover, In 2018's mains examination, there was a question on how does biodiversity vary in India? Biodiversity variations in India. And also there was a subpart of this question which asked about how is Biological Diversity Act 2002 helpful in the conservation of flora and fauna. That means the question was, the subpart was related to biodiversity conservation Act 2002. Right? So purely a static question. Right? So based upon these trend analysis, these questions from last 4 mains, we can clearly demarcate a trend. We can clearly have a trend related to the questions that have been asked by UPSC. If we take 2021's mains exam and 2020's mains exam, questions were pure current based, right? Questions like Green Grid Initiative, COP26, air quality guidelines. Then for 2020's mains examination, question was related to NCAP, National Clean Air Program, draft EIA notification 2020, and also Jal Shakti Abhiyan. So all those topics on which questions were asked in 2020's and 2021's mains examination were purely current affairs based. But that is not the case with the questions asked in 2019's mains and 2018's mains, where questions are more often than not from static portion of the syllabus. So what analysis we can put forward based upon these questions that we have referred to? See, it is about covering all the aspects of the subject. It is about covering all the aspects of the subject. That means you should be thorough with all these static topics. You should be thorough with all the static topics that are mentioned in these broader headings. See, these are broader headings, and while discussing all these topics, all these broader headings, we have also found out the subtopics that we are supposed to discuss, we are supposed to study under these broader headings, right? So as an aspirant, one should be clear with all these 6 topics. They are very, very important. For example, in biodiversity, one should be aware of the variations in the biodiversity of India. One should be aware of 10 biogeographic zones of India. And under those 10 biogeographic zones of India, one should know the plant species that are available there, or type of forest available in that area, and animal species that are living in that forest. So that should be the knowledge associated with such kind of topics, and that should be clear to us. That is very important task, and that acts as the base for your answer writing. Because even if questions are, let's say, current affairs questions are there, but still we'll have to take information from the static portion. Because let's say a question is asked on air quality guidelines given by WHO, which is the question that they have asked in 2021's mains examination. So in that question, there is a subpart which talks about what changes do we have to do under NCAP. What changes do we have to do in NCAP, National Clean Air Program, to accommodate, to implement the guidelines given by WHO. So in order to write that particular part, one should be aware of National Ambient Air Quality Standards given in 2000s, most probably in 2008, right? So one should be aware of National Ambient Air Quality Standards, and if one is aware of those standards, then only that person can be able to write in a appropriate manner the changes that are needed in NCAP, right? So that is very important. These topics you cannot ignore. You should have the knowledge of these topics, right? Then for climate change, let's say climate change questions were asked in 2021's mains examination, wherein they asked about the Green Grid Initiative, which is also known as One Sun, One World, One Grid Initiative. So under that question, we should be aware of the role of solar energy, role of clean energy or green energy in mitigation of climate change. And also one should be aware of the problems related to harnessing this kind of energy. And then we will be able to make sense, okay, why this initiative must have started, right? Because solar energy is mostly concentrated in the tropical regions. If we go away from tropical region towards polar region, then the availability of sunlight reduces. And to make sure that even in those regions there is supply of solar energy, we need energy grid so that there is a supply of energy from tropical regions where solar energy is developed, right? So that we will have to understand, and hence we should be thorough with all these topics. Clear? So that is the environmental or that is the trend analysis. So now in nutshell we can say that for environment and ecology, in order to prepare this subject in a proper manner, this is first need. Your first priority should be clearing all these topics. You should be thorough with the broader topics and the subtopics that are mentioned under these broader topics, right? You have list now of all these 6 topics, so you should be able to study these topics in a broad way. First of all, that is the first priority. Second priority is about information gathering. Second priority is about information, because these topics or under this particular heading, let's say biodiversity, we have IUCN's red list. So one should be aware of few important species from IUCN's red list. Each category you should have at least a list of 5 to 7 animal species which are mentioned in that list. Let's say critically endangered. What are the animals in critically endangered? What are the animals in endangered category? What are the animals in threatened category? So all that information you should have, right? So firstly, going through all these topics. Secondly, gathering information. And the third and the most important aspect is about current affairs, right? Because questions, we have seen questions from 2021's and 2020's mains examination are pure current based questions. And in earlier exams, earlier mains exam, if we talk about 2019 and 2018's mains exam, then even if questions are from static portion, but again the inspiration for asking such questions is in current affairs. Moreover, UPSC sometimes links current affairs with the static portion, and hence it becomes important for aspirants to have clarity of these topics as well as current affairs. So if aspirants have the clarity of current topics and these static topics, then he or she will be able to link them in a proper manner to write answers in a comprehensive manner, right? So generally we do not give much time for environment and ecology for mains examination. So that is understandable, because mostly three questions are asked and the weightage is around 45 marks, 40 to 45 marks. So for that, what you can do, you can build your base while studying for prelims examination itself, so that you don't have to go through all these things once more. So make sure that you have a strong base while studying environment and ecology during prelims examination, right? And only in mains exam or for the preparation related to the mains exam, what you can do, you can update your knowledge related to environment and ecology based upon the current developments, right? So that one can follow to address the questions related to environment and ecology, right? So trend analysis, now we have discussed about the broader things. Now let us discuss what exactly are the topics that are being asked by UPSC in the mains examination, right? So topics. So what you can what output you can get from this discussion that we have had? The output is that questions are mostly from current affairs, but that does not mean we should ignore static portion. So static portion should be done in a good way while preparing for prelims examination itself, so that you don't have to give too much of time while studying for mains. So in mains, you can only update your information with current developments, right? That means both are important. Static portion is also important, current affairs is also important. Now the analysis of topics that have been asked. Analysis of topics. So if we go through previous year questions, then a clear trend of the questions is there, and that trend tells us that one topic is very important for both prelims and mains examination, and that topic is pollution. That topic is pollution. You will find questions from pollution in the prelims examination also, but at the same time you will have the questions in mains exam as well. Many questions are there. For example, air quality guidelines, AQGs by WHO. Then this was in 2021. Then NCAP, National Clean Air Program, in 2020. Then Namami Gange project, Namami Gange project or program, and National Mission on Clean Ganga. Again, this was related to pollution in river Ganges, right? Then Sikkim as organic state. Sikkim as organic state. Sikkim as organic state. Again, it does have a link to pollution topic, right? Then even we can say that the question related to Ramsar Convention, where they have asked what is wise use of wetland and its resources. So wise use is not ensured when there is increase in pollution, right? So the most important topic for the mains examination is pollution. So whatever news comes up related to pollution, whatever developments that happen related to pollution, those developments become important from the exam's perspective, right? So that is first. Second is climate change. Second is climate change. Because the questions like Green Grid Initiative, questions like Green Grid Initiative, or even questions like COP26. So these questions, they are climate change oriented questions, right? Moreover, the questions related to the energy, renewable sources of energy, again they have climate change as context, right? So that's why after pollution, it is climate change which is important topic for our studies, right? Then comes other topics like biodiversity. then biodiversity and conservation, biodiversity and conservation. Then comes environmental ecology, and EIA at the same level, right? So environmental ecology and EIA are at the same level, and questions related to environmental governance will be asked in the relevant topics. For example, the question was asked on biodiversity, a variety of biodiversity in India, and how Biological Diversity Act help in its protection. So what UPSC can do, they can ask the question related to environmental governance or laws in these specific topics. For example, question is related to pollution, then they may ask what are the features of the Air Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1981. So suppose there is a mission like National Mission on Clean Ganga, or there is a project like Namami Gange project, then there may be a question, what are the institutions that are established under the Water Prevention and Control of Pollution Act 1974, which can help government in the implementation of these initiatives. So what they can do related to environmental governance, whatever are the topics, those topics may be linked with these important topics that we have discussed from the mains perspective, right? So all these are the important topics for our examination, and one should study these topics in a thorough manner. What are the topics? First is pollution, second priority or second important topic is climate change, then it is biodiversity and conservation, then environmental ecology and environmental impact assessment, right? So these are the important topics that we should be able to study while discussing environment and ecology. So there is a clear trend, related to topics as well, and related to the questions, the way UPSC asks questions, right? So to summarize what we can say for the trend analysis of environment and ecology as a subject, firstly, the questions have current orientation. That is, we have discussed while discussing the previous year questions from different topics. There is clear inclination towards asking current affairs related questions. That is first. Second is about topics. Which are the topics on which more and more questions are seen? So in that, the most important topic is pollution, because number of questions have been asked related to pollution. Not only air or water, other pollutions as well, like solid waste pollution. There is a question. Then the questions are related to, let's say, use of fertilizers or excessive use of fertilizers may lead to land or soil pollution. So it is not only about air and water pollution, even soil or land pollution is also the topic on which UPSC has asked questions, right? So that is first topic, pollution, which is the most important, followed by climate change and related developments in the international as well as national sphere. Whatever COPs are being held, they become important from our exams perspective. Also, whatever steps India take to help in the achievement of Paris Climate Agreement, again they become important from the exams perspective. If India starts any initiative to decarbonize our economy, again those initiatives becomes important, right? So that is second topic, climate change. Then comes biodiversity and conservation, where one should be thorough with the conceptual clarity related to biodiversity, and also about the information, because most of the information that is there in this subject is related to biodiversity and conservation. And finally, it is about environmental ecology, which consists of basic aspects related to environment, that means what is carrying capacity, ecological footprint, then what is bioremediation, biomagnification, bioaccumulation. All those things become important in this particular topic. And finally, EIA, environmental impact assessment. Right? So we have already discussed what is environmental impact assessment, what are different steps followed, what is the status of environment impact assessment in India, which notification do we follow right now, what is the draft 2020 EIA notification. All that aspect we have already covered, right? So again, the topics are these, but along with the static portion related to these topics, we should be thorough with current affairs, right? I'm emphasizing again and again, static portion is important, and at the same time, current affairs is also important. So there should not be a misbalance between these two. That means if an aspirant is giving too much of time, let's say, to static portion and too little time to current affairs, then that is not a good approach. And vice versa is also true. That means too much of time is given to current affairs, but static portion is not very clear. Again, that is not a good approach. So what we should do, we should follow the balanced approach, wherein equal time, if not same, means if not equal, we can say nearly equal time should be given to static and the current affairs, right? So that approach should be followed for studying environment and ecology. So trend analysis, we can clearly say that the topics are current based topics, questions are current based, and the priority of topics based upon previous year questions is this, right? So that is about the trend analysis related to environment and ecology. Thank you.